Hi you guys, it's Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors and it's Monday again and it's time for that lovely time of the week which is the Ramble. So this week, a little bit of a hobby update. I got some stuff through from Luke's APS for the basing materials for the North Koreans. So the North Koreans are now completely finished, which is fantastic. I'll show them off in a later video like an army showcase sort of thing. But they're done. I've also weathered all the tanks this week. They were all done as well. So that's gone on there as well. And I've done a third thing, and I cannot remember for the life of me what that is. Oh, the epic terrain, that was from the week before. So 3 things off the list are done. So that's the update for the hobby side of things for the past week. This week I'm looking at, I'm doing some Warhammer Epic. I'm painting some Imperial Fist stuff. Probably next week I will probably be doing some bolt action stuff, so maybe doing either the Fallschirmjäger or the SS, or possibly building a tank, maybe fans are free, or which is probably most likely will be the DAC stuff. Obviously done the contrast video this week, really enjoyed that. I think it turned out really well. The colours, like I've said in the video, I'm no historian, they could be historically accurate, they might not be, I'm not too sure. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's like the hobby update things. Second thing I want to say is you've probably noticed a difference in the picture quality of the videos. I'm using the camera that we normally use to film the actual games when we do battle reports instead of my phone, because I cannot find the tripod anywhere. It's got a little adapter for the phone, can't find it anywhere. It's probably over Liam's house, but video wise quality and audio, this might be better anyway, so going forward I'll probably end up doing it like this. I prefer this smoother video, 50 frames a second sort of thing. So that's that, and that's why you can hear a difference in audio, because I'm using an actual proper mic instead of relying on the phone's microphone to pick up the audio. So there's that. So ramble this week, what are we going to ramble about? In all honesty, it was going to be one of those where I was just going to go on about projects and things like that until I had an interest in thought. I thought, why don't we talk about gaming surfaces and gaming tables this week? So different types of gaming surfaces, gaming tables. So the first type we get is obviously for your cheap end is just using some books. The first time I played a tabletop game was with Liam, and that was an introduction 500 points game of Warhammer 40,000. I was the Necrons and Liam was Space Marines, I believe. We used his Realm of Battle board, but we didn't have any real proper terrain, so all we did was we used books to simulate buildings and bits and bobs like that. So that's one end of it. So you can just chuck out a dining room table and just use books and imagination run wild, just for line of sight blocking sort of thing. That's what it's there for, really. It's there for game mechanics. It doesn't have to look shiny and lovely and that. Next step up would probably be from that, starting to buy some GW terrain and or any sort of terrain like plastic kits or a little bit of resin, and just popping it on the table. Maybe just giving it a base coat of paint, not the nicest looking stuff, but it's starting to come together a bit more, so just like a grass mat and just a couple of bits of terrain on it. Working through everything when we first started playing in the hobby, we didn't just have all the trees, all the terrain, everything like that. It didn't just appear overnight. I had to make it. It took a while. It did take about 6 to 8 months to actually get a proper load of terrain up. We've got quite a bit of terrain now, but it did take a long time, like I say, and that's still on a table and stuff like that. But then when you really start taking it, I would say proper seriously, and you want to play at home a lot, making your own custom tables. So we've got what you see in the battle reports is the table, but it's laid over a smaller table, which we've got 4 sections. Are all made up, so they're 2x3 sections, 4 of them that make the 6x4, and they all fit together with hooks and things to hook them into place to over the table. So we haven't got enough room to have a 6x4 table all the time set up. You know, Liam's house is only so big, and he's only got so much storage, which he keeps reminding me of. We keep chucking stuff up in the loft, so yeah, it's getting interesting now. But you know, I had to build that myself. It took a day and a half to actually do build and paint. But you know, that's when you're starting to get playing regularly, and you know, you can chuck your battle mats and your grass mats and stuff, and bits of pre-made scenery on top of that. It's cool. Next bit up from there, I feel like, is you're starting to make your own terrain. So making my own terrain, I've made like, you can do 3D printed stuff. I've done some 3D printed stuff when I had a 3D printer. I don't have one at the minute. I got rid of it because I wasn't using it very much. You can obviously make it scratch out of foam. You know, terrain out of foam, very good. I've made like walls, and we've made roads and bits and bobs like that. I've done a live stream on using foam. If you want to check that out, it's be up in the corner. So yeah, I made like a riverbed with this XPS foam, which is quite cheap actually on Amazon if you're in the UK. It's like $6.99. But I did find something out. B&Q in the UK, people know that is, do stock XPS foam. They do it in like the packets don't really tell you like openly. It looks like there's only 4 sheets in there of it, but there's not. There's like 8 of each side. So, and it's quite reasonably priced, like 10 quid. So I'll probably do a little review on that at some point. But they do it down to like 3mm, so it's like really thin stuff like this, like little templates. You can see I'm trying to do some templates for some of the MDF buildings, save them to keep buying them. But yeah, it has this with buildings and things and MDF terrain and building your own stuff. It does again take a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. You got to really want to be able to want to do that sort of stuff. You've got to paint it all. Should be getting an airbrush for Christmas, which is cool. Having an airbrush will probably help me a lot when it comes to painting stuff up quicker, because obviously it's got no solvents and stuff in it. So with rattle cans and stuff with foam, doesn't really like it. But with airbrush, you just spray in air with the paint, so it should just go on just fine, which would be really nice. Speed up time like you wouldn't believe. I've seen a lot of videos of people saying, "Oh, an airbrush is magic" and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to using that. And then you got like the final step, which is to me is building your own table and playing on custom tables. So I've done one board, I've done one table, and that was like March this year. It's a bolt action. You've seen it in a couple of the battle reports. It's a 4x4 table. I was happy with it back then. I could definitely do better now. I plan on going back to that board with Liam at some point next summer and fixing it up and adding another section on it to make it a 6x4. So yeah, you know, that was a challenge. I literally did that over about 3 days. It was an interesting one. This was before I'd even started the channel, I believe. Yeah, no, it was a good experience. It was definitely a learning curve. It's like I used resin for the first time. I used like sculptor mold and things like that, and used blowtorch to melt the foam to do riverbeds and stuff built in. Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. But it, you know, with all hobby aspects, it's always a challenge. It's an enjoyable challenge, but everyone has their own comfort zones. Not a lot of people are lucky enough to have the time that I do to do the hobby. So some people just, you know, have to buy ready-made terrain, which is fine. Places like GameMat.eu do stuff, but I think for money-wise, I think you definitely get more for building your own stuff for less money. But again, it takes time. But if you want terrain that's like really quick to do, you can just buy it pre-made. It doesn't have to look the best. You know, it's all about the gameplay and the excitement. I like to try and have a rule of if it's not painted, I don't like playing with it. It's just my own personal preference. It wasn't always like that when we first started playing and stuff. I used to have unpainted models and things. But like preference now is I like a painted army because I think it adds to the atmosphere, and especially for the channel, you know, you guys want to see painted miniatures. It just makes everything look that little bit nicer, and it just, I think it does improves the atmosphere, and it makes me more interested in playing, having painted miniatures, and I like painting anyway, so it's a win-win really. But yeah, but again, I'm doing some waffling. I do want to point out, obviously we've got our Facebook group, we've got our Patreon page. If you guys feel like you want to, please pop over to one of these. You don't have to if you don't want to, but the Facebook group's going really well. We're getting a lot of people posting on there now, posting pictures of their minis, and it's really nice to see people. I'll tell you what the trippiest thing was, is like watching someone, like I put my Gonema contrast videos up for I think it was British Airborne, and someone's like done the same thing, and it's just really surreal to see someone using like the way I painted it. It's quite strange. It is rather weird. Yeah, very strange, to be honest with you. I don't class myself as a great painter at all. I don't think I am, but I'm definitely getting better. I think that's the ultimate thing, is to get better. But yeah, when it comes to tables and things, if you can build your own. If you can't, you know, you can always play down a hobby shop and stuff like that. It's not really a drama, or you can just play on a kitchen table. It's whatever you're happy with in your hobby, and whatever you enjoy, really. I need to seriously do something about this background, don't I? At some point, there's like glue and just random bits of plastic everywhere. You know, it's not professional, is it? I've got a door in the background now. I need a new house. I need to buy a new house. I need to get a house with a missus. Oh no, that's another thing. What am I doing? I'll drop that in here. I'm sure someone will link her to it. But yeah, no, it's going well. The hobby this week, I'm enjoying it. So plan for this week is, like I say, I'm going to paint some Imperial Fists. I've got a couple more hours now before Laura gets home, and I'm going to do some more painting. I've got a few jobs to do before she gets home. So yeah, just been sorting out the Epic stuff. I don't know what it is with Epic at the minute. I told Liam, probably said in the last video, like I said, I fell out of love with 40k, but for some reason I'm really enjoying doing Epic, which is just strange, and I don't know why. If anyone can figure why that is, put it in the comments below. Probably because I can do a whole thing in less time, and I can play with loads of different types of units that I wouldn't normally be able to play with, like whirlwinds and loads of Land Raiders and bikes, and yeah, I wouldn't normally be able to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna say that's me for today, my little ramble. My skittish ramble. But thank you very much for watching, and I really do appreciate it. And see you again, I think Wednesday. I'll be doing another video on Wednesday. So yeah, take care, bye, have a good week.